Welcome to a tour of the Information Island Archipelago. This is the telehub, where you'll usually find a reference librarian on duty. This is a map of Info Island, the original island of the Info Island Archipelago, and it gives you an idea of what the libraries are, and there's little teleporter buttons. We're not going to teleport right now, though. We're just going to walk across here to the main library. And inside the main library are some general resources divided into resources about the real world and resources about Second Life. Here's Yoda. If you click on him, he'll give you a list of New York Times bestsellers and other book recommendations. At the moment, we have this special exhibit of the life of Kurt Vonnegut, an author who passed away not long ago. And it has many wonderful examples of his work. Here is a main reference area. Each of these computers has floating over it in text the information about what kind of information it links to. And they also have our infoisland.org URL in case people are interested in more information about the librarians of Second Life. On the other end of this first floor of the main library are information resources about Second Life itself. The computers are links to Linden Lab resources, and here is some books on this shelf that are information about Second Life for new avatars in the various languages, German and French and Italian, Portuguese, that are useful to new avatars who come into Second Life and come to Info Island asking for help. And here we have some books, because, well, what's a library without books? But you'll find more displays than books in libraries in Second Life, because avatars don't really want to spend their time sitting around in Second Life reading books. They want to be out doing things. And now we're in the Talus Science Fiction and Fantasy portal. This is a library of science fiction and fantasy. Here's an exhibit of Black authors of speculative fiction that was put up for Black History Month. We have a lot of rotating exhibits in the Talus Science Fiction Library. Around the corner here you'll see some info terminals, a little more modern than the ones in the main library, and the cover of Snow Crash, which is a book that many people believe that the description of the metaverse therein is a precursor for the vision of what Second Life could be. And here's an exhibit on the books of the Liaidon universe by Sharon Lee and Steve Miller. They're residents of Second Life and have been kind enough to come several times and do book talks about the books in their universe. And upstairs we have a gallery area currently presenting an exhibit of space art by librarian and artist Rosmerta Kalara. This has been held over until the first anniversary celebration of May 18th through 20th, 2007, which will celebrate all of Info Island. And here we're at the ICT library. This library is in support of the librarians, educators, and nonprofits of Second Life, with scripts and tools to help them set up their information spaces in Second Life. So here you can find scripts to give out note cards to your students, all kinds of things. Around the corner is a ThinkBook press. Upstairs is a shop where they've asked various gadget vendors from around Second Life to offer for sale the gadgets that are helpful for setting up your information space. Here's that ThinkBook press I mentioned. And here we are in the Peace Park, which is what offers religious resources. Many of the major religions have these small buildings that represent their religion, and then around the garden there are also note cards for many different religions. Now we've teleported over to Cyber City, another island in the Information Archipelago. This island is sponsored by Talus, the library vendor, and is a place where libraries and library institutions can get a start in Second Life and see if it's for them. You get a little 512-meter office, and it gives you a place to meet your patrons, to try out new things, see what works, see what doesn't. And many of the libraries that got their start here on Cyber City now have offices in Cyber City too, which allows rental of much larger spaces. For instance, here's McMaster University. They have a much larger library, or the engineering department, I guess, has a building and a coffee bar where people gather and meet. And here we have the special librarians of Second Life, where special librarians are networking and trying to figure out how their more specialized skills can be used in Second Life. It's not as obvious as it is if you're a university library, for example. And here's the office of the branch libraries of Second Life. And now we've teleported to another island, Health Info Island. This is the Consumer Health Library. There are many different libraries on Health Info Island that serve consumers but also health professionals. And there are also many beautiful spaces for meeting support groups, because it's really dedicated, as is Dream Island, which is not part of the Info Archipelago, to helping people with medical needs find the assistance that they need in Second Life. It's a wonderful way, if you have an obscure disease, to meet other people who have your disease and be able to actually get together avatar to avatar and share information. That thing that we passed right behind us was a podcast multimedia exhibit. So it's not just visual information that's displayed in Second Life, but also audio information. You can see there's some meeting spaces in here, and then some outdoor meeting spaces, and in the hills over behind the hot tub here there are some amazing gardens. So here's the map of the whole archipelago at the moment. It's growing, and here are some of the libraries that are represented on the archipelago: in Info Island 1, in Info Island 2, in Cyber City, and in Cyber City 2, and in Edu Island, where the educators are, and Edu Island 2, and of course Health Info Island, where we visited. Then there's some allied islands like the ALA, San Jose State University, and other islands that have put on their own islands and joined the archipelago. And so please come by and visit the archipelago and visit our website at infoisland.org.